firm rebuke of Moscow, the UN chief repeated the assertion that any annexation of a state's territory by another state resulting from the threat or use of force is a violation of the principles of the UN Charter and international law.
The Russian Federation is one of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, shares a particular responsibility to respect the Charter. Any decision to proceed with the annexation of Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson and Zaporizhia, regions of Ukraine, would have no legal value and deserves to be condemned. It cannot be reconciled with the international legal framework. It stands against everything the international community is meant to stand for. It flouts the purposes and principles of the United Nations. It is a dangerous escalation. It has no place in the modern world. It must not be accepted.
Moscow's planned annexation, essentially of some 15% of Ukraine's territory, is the clearest sign of further escalation when the broad international consensus is that this war must come to an end. Ukraine has all but rejected the Russian moves, with President Vladimir Zelensky calling an emergency meeting Friday of his top security and intelligence officials after warning of a robust response and a promise that the territorial integrity of Ukraine would be restored. In the words of the Secretary-General, a senseless war, as he urged Russia to step back from the brink.
The position of the United Nations is unequivocal. We are fully committed to the sovereignty, unity, independence and territorial integrity of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders in accordance with the relevant UN resolutions. I want to underscore that the so-called referenda in the occupied regions were conducted during active armed conflict in areas under Russian occupation and outside Ukraine's legal and constitutional framework. They cannot be called a genuine expression of the popular will. Any decision by Russia to go forward will further jeopardize the prospects for peace. It will prolong the dramatic impacts on the global economy, especially developing countries, and hinder our ability to deliver life-saving aid across Ukraine and beyond.
A Kremlin spokesperson earlier indicated that agreements would be signed with all 4 territories that held referendums, and that President Putin would deliver a voluminous speech Friday with a big concert planned in Moscow's Red Square. Shervin Briceby's SABC News, New York.